be just out of control, sort of rudderless and desperate, in running out of military capability, which, by the way, they're rebuilding somewhat during the ceasefire, so that's going to have to be addressed again.
Actually, it's not true. They're not 100% behind Israel and the U.S. They have recognized that even though they have Israel and the U.S. with them, it has not led to a full protection. Instead, they have gotten more harmed and most of their industries destroyed because of their relationship with the U.S. and Israel. And so they are evaluating how do they operate in the region, but they're recognizing that fighting Iran is not a positive for them. It's not sustainable long term. Therefore, they don't want to continue. The only country still trying to stand with just boasting itself is Emirates, but the other ones aren't.
Well, they all have American bases there. That's not going to change in this case. Look, they were fighting with the Persians.
I'm telling you this ain't fake, Eleanor. This is exactly what they're doing. The China has, they're trying to move. You really don't see this shit. Like, China is the GCC's biggest customer, bro.
Yeah, U.S. and Israel are the biggest protectors, and as we all know, you can't.
Yeah, but we haven't been able to protect them the way that they assumed we were able to protect them. And they're seeing how China has been
definitively. They haven't been losing in this. Right. The missiles have been falling for the most part uselessly. I mean,
are you basing this on something you've seen that we haven't seen?
Yes, the daily reports of the military assessment.
What military assessment?
I don't know if you've seen it or not. American and GCC.
Something that you've seen online.
Contacts in the region.
So the GCC.
I mean, if you're going deeply, all of this stuff is available to you as well. I think, except for my personal relationships, do count for something. I'm on the phone with them while they're crossing the bridge. The King Fahd Causeway, while it's being missiled, while the sirens are going off.
I don't know where you're getting your reports from.
Which ones?
The GCC has reported damages to their facilities and their ports. That's not minor. When part of your pipeline is blown up and it's halting trade, when all the products you have sent are stuck at a blockade and can't move, meaning you are losing billions of dollars in trade.
Yeah.
When your economy, your country is moving to a space where it's going to essentially be back to a desert land, because all the high-tech programs, all the high-tech technology businesses you are working on requires you having great relations with the rest of the world. Now you are getting to a place where you are seen as a risk.
Because of Iran, which is
a positive. Let her finish on Armo, because I think you're doing this because it's personal. I'm telling you from where it's not personal for me. Miriam telling you where it's not personal for her. We're talking about what is actually going on in the region. We're talking about the fucking summits that they're trying to set up, the shit that China is doing behind the scenes with Iran, and how fucking Israel and the United States are being pushed out. You don't understand.
Oh, it's the opposite. This just puts us closer together.
Let me finish.
Sure.
Prior to this conflict, prior to this war, the Gulf countries were trading with the world. The Strait of Hormuz was open. They were expanding in their green energy businesses, crypto, you name it. It was booming. Business was booming. Sectors were booming. Latest technology, engineering, agriculture. Oh, hold on. All of that was happening. The conflict that were existing with Iran, they were more diplomatic. The other part of the conflicts that were existing with Iran were more from their other entities like Houthis who went silent for over a year. In fact, since last year, the Houthis have just decided to relax. They're not even moving anymore. The other part, it is the position Saudi Emirates has on Sudan, which goes against Saudi Emirates do not agree on what's happening in Sudan. They are each other, okay? The other diplomatic issues, it was diplomatic issues. A lot of it was diplomatic. Iran wasn't shooting missiles at Saudi Arabia, at Qatar, Emirates, any of those countries. It wasn't. Business was flowing. A lot of it was more diplomatic. Now they're in a situation where they have had to shut down airlines, where they are losing their position as the hub of the region in Africa, where their products and businesses are not moving. Things are on standstill, where they have moved to a higher risk level.
100%.
There
That's
is
because of this
was not there prior to them to Iran getting attacked. This happened after Iran was attacked.
Yes,
Israel and the US
because the
prior
Islamic
to the
regime is
attack.
a threat to the region.
The GCC was actually at a peaceful period. Now they are not. And they learned about their future, and they recognize that America can't offer that defense, nor can Israel. That's needed.
Oh, that's the opposite.
And they want to continue to exist long term. Their long term viability relies on continuing good diplomatic relations with their neighbors, and that includes Iran.
Yeah, with a different regime, though.
So now we're back to it being about regime change.
Well, they're not trustworthy, obviously. They're out of their minds.
Hey, help Miriam build her karma. If you agree with her, give her a thumbs up. Yada, yada, yada. Because she does give a lot into these rooms. And I don't even know why she doesn't have her badge. She puts out a lot of great information. And if you want to, at least give her 5 coins. If you have it, nobody's telling you to go buy them, because I think it's a waste of fucking money. But coins ain't worth a shit. But
thank you, Patty. Patty, is there something I need to do for it to appear? Because I don't even know. I see things on my...
You need to update Miriam.
Oh,
y'all support Miriam, because she supports us a lot. She comes up here, she chimes in on shit.
One thing that helps people get a badge is being made a moderator. So if you want to start making her a moderator, it will help her get there a lot quicker.
Moro, how is it going in the Americans? Who has the permission to speak?
Yeah, Miriam contributes a lot.
She is at 2% karma, so I do want to say she's very close to a badge, actually.
So everybody, support. If you don't agree with her, don't put no thumbs down. Just keep your damn heart to your thumbs down to yourself.
Amos is a beautiful Israeli man. He's anti-Bibi. He's a wonderful kibbutznik from way back. So if you want to hear from him, it'd be interesting, I'm sure. That's Amos. Yeah.
No, it's the first time I speak in a so big room, so I'm a little bit, nervous. But I hope I'll pass it. Since when, I want to ask somebody in the room can give me an answer. Since when Israel, United States, or any other country can change a regime in any other country? It doesn't matter if this is Iran, Egypt, Syria. Since I don't know in the history of the world that come a country and change the regime, change the people, change. Israel did not succeed to do it in Lebanon. Israel did not succeed to do it in Gaza. Israel, little country, want to see, we have airplane, we have atomic bomb.
Okay, wait, babe. Can you, let's ask the question. We don't need the history. Just ask the question that you're trying to ask, because all the extra is, I can't hear out of one of my ears. So I need you to ask this question. Just make it clear. Okay?
Don't silence that black man.
I'm not silencing a black man. I am telling him to ask.
He's not black, it was a joke.
Go ahead. I just wanted you to ask the question, because when you start going into all this other shit, the question gets lost.
You
other shit. I got ADHD. You start asking a whole bunch of other shit, I started thinking about cookies and ice cream. So go ahead and ask the question again.
Especially when people revenge like you do not know how to accept other opinions. So.
I'm not saying I don't accept your opinions. I am asking you to ask that question that you were asking. All the extra shit, and you start talking about extra shit, you got people like me that start going off into a whole nother fucking universe. So ask that question.
He said, when have we ever done regime change? That's what he said.
We did it in Iraq, where we put civilians in charge of the country. We've done it, and okay.
You think you did something good in Iraq? Answer by yourself.
Never mind, Amos. Thank you.
Amos, these guys are against the war, Amos. Like you.
Amos, as in famous Amos cookies.
It's Amos.
It's almost.
By the way, Iran is not Iraq. Iran is not other countries. And
Iran still has the same regime.
Just
Iran still has the same regime.
Just a second. Just listen to me, okay? Iran is not like those countries. And now, Israel and America, they don't want to regime change. They're just helping the Iranian people. They do that. Before the war, 2 months before the war, the Iranian people, they came out the street, okay, for the revolution. And the regime killed more than 45,000 innocent people. But we want about...
You really came off much of this bullshit, bro? Come on.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He's Iranian. He knows.
I'm Iranian.
You gonna fuck his Iranian?
Attack the phone, not the perfect guy. Attack the phone, not the perfect.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna actually fuck my. Come on. Why you guys did this?
Well, just finish. We know the story about the 45,000 people. People say it all the time. Just so you know. Guys, keep going.
You don't know about that? You didn't see the
We
picture?
do know about it. We've known about it for months.
Okay.
Same old
So,
story.
okay,
Same old
newsroom. Just a second, bro. I just wanted to say that the American and Israel, they don't want the regime change. We Iranian people, we will do that. They just help us
So hurry up and start
the
doing it.
regime. Okay, they just help us to attack the regime. After that, after they finishing this war, we're gonna go out of the street again, and we will do regime change in Iran.
Will you be launching your attack from California?
What? Ask again.
Will you be launching your attack from California?
I'm fully supporting Israel and America because they don't kill they just killing the fucking regime members. You don't know that. You didn't live that.
Okay, yeah, you answered my question. Good job. Thank you.
The school kids that were killed
Please
were
don't
your
curse, sir.
people.
We have had issues. Give me some facts. Give me some facts. Show me some facts.
Hugo, the school
The
kids
Israeli
that were
people.
killed, were they not your people? The school kids that were killed, were they not your people?
The school kids, it was the IRGC fault. It was the IRGC fault. You're out of Iran. You don't know that shit. They did.
Wait,
many
how
times.
was
A few years ago.
IRGC?
Just a
Wait.
second.
Why are you interrupting? Because I have a question. You want to go to the hallway, Norm?
Okay, tell me.
How was the school the IRGC's fault? The U.S. accepted responsibility.
They didn't accept. They didn't accept.
did.
Show me. Well,
They did. It's all over. We have senators of power.
They say we're
You just
working.
told me. I'm gonna just do a countdown. 3,
He takes it.
2,
We are working on it.
1.
And
Okay.
see.
That's it. Gotcha. You take your ass back to Tel Aviv. Nobody wants to hear the propaganda.
He's Iranian. He's not Tel Avivian.
I don't give a fuck what he is. The United States accepted responsibility. We have senators on camera apologizing for it.
Can I ask where are you from, brother? Where are you from?
I'm from your mom.
You're from Yemen. So you lived in the Middle East.
I got a girlfriend.
I actually lived in the Middle East, Hugo. I lived in Bahrain, I lived in Jordan, and I lived in Kuwait. So what's next?
So I just.
My daughter went to school in Bahrain. She went to school in Jordan. You got something extra you want to add to it?
Wait, am I the only one you said? Ben said, I came from your mom.
He said you
You
from
just
the Middle
said,
East.
oh, so you come from the Middle East too, huh?
Yeah,
breaking news, y'all. Breaking news. It's not really breaking news, but it's something that's important to Black people. Have you guys talked about Emancipation Day today?
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, today is the day that Lincoln signed into law the federal law that freed the enslaved people in the District of D.C. of Columbia. So, about 8 months before the Emancipation Proclamation, roughly 3,000 enslaved Africans were set free in D.C. today, 1862, April 16th. So, this is an important day. The bill wasn't perfect. It compensated slave owners for their lost property, but at least in the District of Columbia, the Black people were freed who had been enslaved before that day. That's it.
All right, we observe every year, and it's a great time to do introspection. Because when you go back to your dictionary, you will find bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, one pork chop.
I know you suck your line.
I want to add later.
You supposed to be giving us work. You see that way I'm starting up. You see
Get your
how
mic out.
these rooms
It's a mess.
ain't no nigga that lied to you. Told me he's
It won't get
talking
on.
What are you guys doing today?
You just cutting me off right now. So, but anyhow, Emancipation Day, this is an overall gist of it is pretty good. And but to take our land back, that's the problem. When you define, say mega, make America great again, is going back to my land. And that mega is when the copper tone people, when you go to a website and define what an American is the copper tone people. They massacred far too many of us, and I haven't gotten over that yet. So the emancipation from what to what, we should be celebrating the taking of our land back. And the only agreement was then to get a little corn, red, white, and blue corn, and a few head of buffalo. And he said, well, I'm going to bring some guns and weapons and cannons and take it out there. That's the thing what the other caller alluded to. That you take us to bully on the playground. It does not work. Ask Vladimir, George W. Bush, go into George Prescott Bush, Clinton.
We're talking about D.C. Emancipation Day.
And this guy Trump is on my land, and right now he's a squatter. That's what emancipation means. Emancipation from serfdom on my land. And he's now a squatter. And we are against him being on our land and using the weapons to say we're not in favor of him using the weapons to be on my land and command weapons to be launched on others and bombs and guns to be used on others. So he has no authority.
Let's talk about Emancipation Day.
You're talking about Emancipation Day,
When you take
Ambassador.
back the authority on your land.
Why did they come up
That's
with
what this day is
Emancipation Day?
about.
Wasn't that a couple days before they actually were going to do the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Was it
No,
like a test
no.
run or something like that?
No, the indirect piece on the
From my understanding,
Emancipation Proclamation and the Ambassador.
So from my understanding, wasn't the reason why DC freed earlier than the actual date? It was supposed to be like a test run to see like a quote unquote type of managed transition to see what immediate freedom looks like for. So that's what I was told. It wasn't so much of them wanting. It was a policy experiment. No, yeah. I'm talking to myself.
Well, Ben knows more about this.
It was a
Was it
rally of
experiment?
Lincoln and Frederick Douglass.
We can't do this.
Okay, let's talk to somebody that might know more.
It's sequential order, right? And I haven't heard the history right. I'm just getting the record straight. Lincoln and Frederick Douglass was a rally. They assassinated Lincoln,
Him or mute him.
and they vetoed
Ambassador,
the entire.
we love you. We don't want to hear this right now.
We don't
I'm asking a question. Ambassador, the question I asked, if anybody has the answer, somebody from DC area, from my understanding, the reason why DC did what it did was it was like a test run when it came to policy. Because even with Emancipation Day, if you look at the date of Emancipation Day, it was right before they were doing the Emancipation Act. So it's not like.
What's up, Reese?
Now, when you say right before, like, how close do you think those 2 dates were?
I don't really remember. Somebody taught me this
Because
song.
fully to do with our enslavement.
Ambassador,
Bro!
be quiet.
In the fuck do I have to be quiet? I don't understand it. The knowledge I'm giving to me.
I know to give it, but I can't give it if you don't shut up. What are you talking about?
And that's
Be
the one
quiet.
I just want to be clear. Patty asked two particular people. Unfortunately, you were neither of those people. And then those people could not answer because you kept interrupting. So I just want to keep everything respectful. So she asked Hurricane, she asked Van, and you interrupted both. And your mic is really loud, so we can't hear anybody else over you. Respectfully.
Yeah, so here's what I can tell you. Before April 16, 1862, many enslaved Africans fought to end slavery in the District of Columbia. There were rebellions, there were proposed laws, and so on. And Black people flocked to the District of Columbia because they believed that in the early years of the Civil War, they would experience more freedom there. And so all of that pressure forced Lincoln to take a step. And with the help of a few other people who were federal legislators, he issued the bill.
Well, understanding that, Hurricane, my question is, was it...
I'm getting there, Patty. You can't answer the question in like 2 sentences. I can't. So 8 months before the Emancipation Proclamation, he issued that bill and it was passed into law. Now, did he do it because it was a test run? Maybe, but that's not a remarkable thing to do. In America, people do test runs all the time in smaller locations so that they can see how it's going to work. But it's not as if there wasn't this outcry for ending slavery. So he did what he could. And in D.C., he did it 8 months before the Emancipation Proclamation. 8 months before. Emancipation Proclamation, I believe, was January 1st, 1863. Shut up, BT. Shut up. Y'all call yourselves ideologians and you guys don't even have reference for your own history. This is not a laughing matter. It's important. But anyway, Patty, that's all I know.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because even...
I'm just deadly because I know you ain't talking.
Shut up! Calm down!
Bitch!
Got said.
Shut up!
So the reason why, I don't know, was the rules the same? Like, if you chose DC, right now we know DC is under federal control, right? So for them to choose DC, it's easier because they can do that, immediately if they were going to use it as a test case.
Well,
yeah.
Sure.
So it would have been the easiest place to say, yeah, we can make this happen because it's not like it's a state. They're run by Congress. So it's easier to say, yeah, make it happen, and this is what's going to happen.
I mean, perhaps. But that's where it happens.
I know this broad-faced faggot did not just come at me on some bullshit talking about.
I came at you.
When your ass ain't even worried about the. You need to worry about the history of Legos, motherfucker.
You're such a joke, bitch, because you don't even know the history of your own country. You don't even know the history of your own country. You don't even know the history of your own people.
I know way more history than damn near
you don't even know about my people, which is why you keep on going. Which is why you keep on going after Heather.
You think you're talking?
You always date Heather. You always Heather.
Go eat a damn potato.
If you hate them.
Go eat a damn.
When in fact you hate yourself.
You hate your homeland. That's why you never go back.
You hate yourself.
Okay, it's not that serious. Hurricane's trying to bring some information to the day. That's it. He's trying to bring information to the day.
When I got fucking documented.
Where's your homeland? Where's your homeland?
Thank you,
If I had a
Hurricane.
great big in the hallway, then that's what would happen.
This nigga told me he know more about our shit than his own shit. You need to worry about Nigeria, nigga, and Tinubu.
I was an American citizen.
You know, I'm be worried about what the fuck is going on.
I was an American citizen.
He needs home in the United States right now. I can't see
Black Americans, you need to be trying to teach some Nigerian kids, nigga.
BT, BT.
Don't try to educate us on our street. We know what the fuck going on.
No, you don't.
It's apparent.
No, you don't. Because he came on stage to talk about bacon and
Yes,
cheese.
Tiana.
He didn't come up on stage to
BT,
talk
were
about
you
compensation.
aware that your birth disorder was broadcasted 2 times because you came off mute in the middle of Hurricane speaking? Were you aware of that?
Y'all are too kind. I'm
No,
sorry.
I am a homie.
Like, you're causing money.
So that's why
you
Hurricane
continue to be
reacted.
allowed food.
Well, Hurricane, give me just 1 second. I'm sorry. That's why Hurricane reacted, because we literally heard your birth disorder with extra mayo on tomato.
Yeah, it was not extra, it was regular.
And jelly.
Regular.
And jelly.
Yes. So
Oh yeah, Daddy was part of it.
Strawberry jelly. Strawberry jelly.
so that's why Hurricane is reacting the way, because we don't know if it's intentional or unintentional. Now, because we've had this conversation, we know that it was unintentional. But your mic is very loud always. So you literally interrupted what he was saying. So that's
I
his
didn't know. I
reaction.
apologize, Tiana. Thank you for telling me.
Well, you have to accept your
Hurricane, hold on, Hurricane. So you need to apologize to Hurricane because he was trying to speak on it. No, he brought up emancipation.
Me not caring about no reference from my damn people in the history.
No, but he went there because it was already fucked up.
There is no excuse.
But
Then he called me the B word.
BT, can you
No,
understand?
that did not give me the right to call me the B word because I came off of it by accident. That's crazy. So for y'all to say I need to apologize for this or that, Daddy, come on.
No. Say, okay. So all you have to say, dang, it was all accident. I came off of mute. And that's it.
It's okay. I don't need an apology from this idiot. I don't. It's fine. You don't have to apologize.
If you're not an idiot, then you need to use your intelligence to help your people and stop worrying about what the fuck America got going on. Use that big ass brain you have.
Americans are my people. Americans are my people. Americans are my people.
That's your issue.
The same that's fine.
You need to be trying to fix that. No, we all go over there. Did you ever think about that?
You don't have more of a right to this country than I do.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue
You
with.
gonna fix your shit. You got 2 million acres of land over there, and y'all are wasting and letting it wither away because you want to be in the way instead of making your land the best.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the Meet the Press. And if anybody talks during Meet the Press, you get dropped to the goo. You're getting dropped to the goo. So let me go ahead and play Meet the Press where I'm at. Okay.
The corruption. Who you fucking like?
Welcome back to White House. Is escalating its feud with Pope Leo. President Trump once again criticizing the Pope's opposition to the war with Iran on social media late last night and posting this image, which appears to show him with Jesus this morning. Meanwhile, Vice President Vance speaking at a Turning Point USA event in Georgia last night, issuing a warning to the Pope and rebuking him for saying that Jesus is never on the side of those who wield swords and drop bombs. How can you say that God is never on the side of those who wield the sword? Was God on the side of the Americans who liberated freedom from the Nazis? Was God on the side of the Americans who liberated Holocaust camps and liberated those innocent people from those who had survived the Holocaust? I certainly think the answer is yes. We can, of course, have disagreements about whether this or that conflict is just, but I think that it's important, in the same way that it's important for the Vice President of the United States to be careful when I talk about matters of public policy. I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology. Senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez joins me now. So, Gabe, does the Trump administration see this ongoing feud with the Pope as a political winner? Because they seem to keep wanting to talk about it.
Well, actually, Ryan, I think it's the president that really keeps wanting to talk about it, posting that image this morning. And what we've seen from the vice president and other Republican leaders in the last several days is they're responding to what a feud that the president really has started. Now, the president used
this not so much from just a political frame, but more of a personal frame, a personal affront to his policies. We saw it earlier this week when the president was asked about this. He said he was only responding to Pope Leo because Pope Leo brought it up, although Pope Leo has been very careful not to really call out President Trump by name, just voices general opposition to the war and to make this call for peace, although he has spoken about this more often in the last several days. But earlier today, we heard from House Speaker Mike Johnson, and I thought it was very interesting, whereas Mike Johnson earlier this week had urged President Trump to take down that other controversial picture, that AI-generated image of President Trump depicted as Jesus Christ. Today, his message seemed to be siding with the Trump administration, siding with the White House, and saying that if the Pope wanted to wade into political waters, then he should expect a political response. Now, Vice President Vance, of course, yesterday, as you mentioned, a turning point event coming to the president's defense. The comments, though, from Vice President Vance, particularly striking, given that he is a Catholic, and he was seen by critics as lecturing the Pope on what the Pope should be talking about when it comes to theology. Yeah, and it's such a great point, Dave, because so much of the president's base comes from the religious right in this country. He was very successful in winning that vote. Is there any concern in the White House that that could alienate some of those voters that they've come to rely on?
Well, I will tell you, Ryan, when you speak with White House officials about this, they don't want to talk about it. And all they refer back to is whatever President Trump posts on social media. And, they want to leave the senior officials, they want to leave this to either the president or the vice president to wade into these controversial waters, so to speak. But look, the Trump administration will repeatedly say, and the president has said, he has done more for evangelical voters than any other president before him in his view, from the appointment of Supreme Court justices that led to the downfall of Roe v. Wade to other policies that they see as being beneficial for the religious right. So I don't think the president is thinking about this too much in political terms. He's really viewing this in personal terms, and he has said he's a counterpuncher. If he perceives someone to be a threat to his policies, he will punch back, even if that's Pope Leo.
Maybe the president's not thinking about it, but if I'm a Republican running in a midterm, I'm probably thinking about a lot. All right, Jim Gutierrez, live from the White House. Thanks again. After the break, speaking out with nothing to lose, more from NBC's exclusive interview with outgoing Republican Senator Tom Tillis, as he opens up about his views on the president's inner circle war. I don't want to miss this. Stay with us on Take the Press Now.
Any comments on the last?
I just, the audacity, I said this earlier, I want to stamp this again, of him telling the Pope, like, that baffles me. And he's only been practicing Catholicism for 5 years. It's just like, you gonna tell the Pope the only one we got? That's crazy. And then, I think this just goes to show the ego, because can't nobody tell you nothing.
Wait a minute.
Can you wait a minute? King, can you wait a minute? I didn't interrupt you, brother, with the 12 dreads you got in your head. And
It's like 300 and something, but you were...
Right, and the fact that you sat there and took that picture, that close to your fucking roof.
I'm richer than you.
And then that tight ass chain around your neck makes me feel like that's why you're having
10 grand.
Because you're lacking oxygen. So I'm gonna tuck you in the goop, so that way you can have your Tourette's moment down there. And we do respect and give grace to all of those with Tourette's. The way he just stuffed himself in that PTR, that's why he's popping it out the side of his fucking neck, and I can't complete my thought. If I may finish. Thank you so much. Because he look like he ain't never been to a Catholic church, never, much less walk past one. I know he has high blood pressure. I'm going to finish my fucking thought, though. I am baffled at the audacity. I am baffled at the ego. I was going to limit this to the white man, but the way this man came in here built like a slug,
Yes, it is. They say,
What's wrong with your fingernail?
What's that mean? What do you mean?
Your fingernail looks like it looks bitten. It doesn't look cut and
This is not a gay fingernail. That's I mean, I don't know.
Okay, cut it out.
Your fingernail.
Hey, yo, straight
Okay, I don't care about no fingernails, but that sandwich BT, hey, cut it out. I don't care about that, but that sandwich BT, we gotta go back on the fried chicken. There's a big ass piece of fried chicken between.
Wait, is this a fingernail? Hold on, that's a big ass busted fingernail, nigga. It does look dry. I will say
It's not. It's dry. That's the outside. The crust. The crust just as dry. It's crispy fingernail. The crust is crispy on the exterior, sir.
I could tell that's a crispy ass piece.
Yeah, it's not too dry.
It'll crunch when you bite into it. That's for sure.
But
you know what? I actually grew up.
Y'all don't know how to do food properly.
You know, like the bento boxes, how the food is separated. Fucked up. My mom, since I've been a kid, she's always separated my food in the little areas. That shit.
What do you mean?
You ain't
That soggy bread thing.
Oh, okay.
But it just looks like a big ass juicy piece of greasy ass chicken, and I was like,
Yo, so can I respond?
This is why I work out.
That chicken looks like your cholesterol levels are like 220.
no, I ain't gonna lie. That's not even a diss. What he's saying is the truth. That looks like you got some high cholesterol, bro.
But I don't. So, I mean, like, it's why I work out.
You will.
And I drink natural juices and waters and don't eat sugar.
See, BT, I can leave you when you get this big ass piece of chicken. BT, if it is your cheat day, go ahead and enjoy that big ass greasy, high cholesterol piece of chicken. All that oil sucking into your sandwich.
What the fuck?
What's American cheese? That's disgusting. But BT, you gotta tell the people that's a pork chop.
Oh, that's a pork chop?
That's a side, and you got a side pork chop too.
Wait. Let me see this.
That's a pork chop. It's flat patty. It doesn't have any meat to it. That's why he's giving me 100. That is a pork chop.
Yeah, I thought you said you was giving up pork.
That was how many months ago?
And then
You abandoned me. I think it's the motivation.
first of all, and then it wasn't the pork chop. Remember, he ordered a whole bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit too. This only half his order. Remember?
This is for the day. This is for the
No,
whole day.
BT, we
This
said
is
the
for the
truth.
whole day.
We heard it. Because at first I was like, damn, he got a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. He said he wouldn't eat pork. Then you said, and a pork chop. I said, God damn.
Janet, didn't he just say, Janet, Miss Jackson, if you nasty. Didn't he just say he don't eat sugar? I heard him say
Yes.
about jelly.
Patty,
I don't eat or drink sugar.
No, I gotta blast you, BT. I remember I went to pick up some mini chicken sliders. You know the buffalo chicken sliders? And BT ran me from field because I was eating bread. And this nigga PTR a Flintstone dino size pork chop with Texas goddamn toast. And that thin ass piece of lettuce. That fucking tomato was supposed to cancel out all that goddamn greasy. I appreciate Hurricane making space for this. We're gonna dissect this. That pork chop is twice the size of that fucking Texas toast right there. Huh? Look at that. Are you feeding the whole construction crew?
It was the time you were eating it after. It was after 10.
Damn.
You was eating it after 10, so it was going to digest.
So now you're lying because it was lunch.
It was like not. Oh, yeah, it was lunch.
Now you're lying. It was time.
No, but in bread, period, it's not good for us. I live weak, and that's okay.
BT.
I do wraps any other
Ain't
week.
no one day a week. You eat that once a day.
No, heck no, don't play
This
that.
goddamn.
I'm only in the area that make these once a week.
Brooklyn said, then you eat cheese on top of the fried pork
Like a
chop.
whole chicken, BT. That
I only have
God damn.
this Pacific deli is I only go by.
No, that's a butcher shop. That's not real steak.
That's not Neil Shane, BT. That's a black man. He knows how to, manage his health.
I literally do. And
Does
Janet
not try
knows
to
that.
second guess it. We gotta normalize respecting black men. I think that's been under.
You're in the matrix. We can't hear you. It's really bad. You have to leave and then come back.
Oh, sorry, I'm in a bad area. Well, we gotta normalize respecting
Or not come back.
Oh, here go this word though. Am I still in the matrix?
Yeah.
What about now?
All I'm going to say is that BT was going to let you all think that was a chicken sandwich when it was a pork chop.
That's a pork chop?
And I had to correct the record.
Daddy was the only one who thought it was a chicken sandwich.
It's a chicken fried pork chop.
Chicken fried.
I just eat fried. I always think about fried chicken. That's the only thing that I eat that's fried. I don't eat fried pork chop, bro.
But it's a Black American thing, so.
And so what?
But people
My grandma's Black American. What that mean?
But people
You are not one of us, Patty. Stop playing.
My grandma is Black American.
Oh, y'all, that's not the goddamn thing on Patty.
That don't mean you one of us. Look at her trying to be like Drake. You are Drake.
Country, you say
Hey, can I say something real quick, please?
Danny,
Yeah,
stay out
very
of this.
settled.
You gonna love you. Stay out of this.
Go ahead.
No.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the person who was the person that said I know nothing about Catholicism? Who said that?
Yeah, nobody said that. I said you had 12.
They did. Hold on, please. Somebody said that I knew nothing about Catholicism. Who said that?
And nobody.
Yes, nobody said that. I said you had 12 dreads in your head. And particularly after Sister Patty said, what are your thoughts on the clip she just played? Nobody was even talking to you with this alien versus predator fucking hairstyle you got.
Wait a minute.
So bad. You want to be relevant so fucking bad. Nobody was talking to you. We didn't even know you existed until you keep hitting this fucking unmute button with this hot ass goddamn breath. I was talking about J.D. Vance and the fact that he's only been practicing Catholicism for 5 years and he's critiquing the Pope, telling the Pope what he should or shouldn't say. Dumb fuck. I'll say it for the third time since you're slow. If you go get them dreads retightened every now and again, it would keep them screws from getting so fucking loose. Now, I was kind to you. How we got here was because you kept cutting me the fuck off. I hope you understand now. Slowpoke, fuck nigga, dumb. God.
No.
She's so sexy when she pack you lame ass niggas up.
Do not encourage it, BT. Come on, bro.
I can't help it.
Because I love when she pack people up. That should be funny.
Because Patty, it'd be so unnecessary. It's like if you woke up wanting to fight, just say that. Nobody was even addressing this man.
She was talking about JD, bro. She didn't even know you was probably on the stage, to be honest. Because I didn't. All right, we're going to go back to Meet the Press.
Welcome back. This afternoon, the Senate once again rejected a war powers resolution that would have blocked U.S. military operations until Congress explicitly approves it. But some Republican senators have signaled they are becoming frustrated with the lack of details from the White House on the war's objectives. Yesterday, my colleague Julie Serkin sat down for a wide-ranging interview with one of those lawmakers, retiring North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis. Here's a bit of their conversation on Iran. We're coming up on the 45-day mark. 60 days is important with respect to the war powers resolution. And I'm not quite clear what the strategic objectives are. And so as we get closer to the 60-day mark, they may request a 30-day extension as long as that's accompanied with a lot of details that I haven't seen to this point and intentionally did not get into, it's going to be difficult to get my support.
If the president and the White House can't articulate to U.S. senators what the goals of their war is 45 days in, how do you expect your constituents to know why we're currently in Iran and why their gas prices are jumping 38%?
Well, they would have to be psychics, right? I mean, they would have to possess information that hasn't been shared publicly, and I think that we have to have that information to sustain it going forward.
Joining me now on set is NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Sirkin. Julie, with his pending retirement, Tillis has really become one of the most outspoken people, outspoken Republicans, we should say, against Trump administration policy. You pressed him on that. I want to play a little bit of your interview, and then we'll get your reaction on the other side. Take a listen.
I want to ask you about the bad advice thing, because you've been getting a lot of credit for being outspoken, for telling it like it is. Obviously, you've been doing this during the president's first term. I covered you then. But you've certainly got a little bit more free now. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's like people say you're really speaking, a lot more openly, and I say the same thing. I'm going to say it again here. No shit, Sherlock. I don't have to think about books that I use anymore. Right? If I were running for re-election, I'd probably use a few different words, try to communicate the same thing like I did in Trump 1. But I just don't have to deal with that filter a bit. And I hate overhead. I'm a low overhead kind of guy. And I'm just taking that overhead off the table. People shouldn't view me as being critical and circular firing squad. That they should view me as somebody that's trying to optimize our chances in November and in the future, because I have a vested interest in that.
Is it difficult to be an elected statewide Republican in the era of Trump?
Well, it depends on the state. I mean, if you're in a purple state, yeah, because you always have to build a coalition. If you cast an extreme tone, or if you're running as an extreme candidate, you're likely not going to win an election statewide in North Carolina, regardless of which party you are.
Can I just run through a few people around the president, and you can tell me if they've been giving him bad or good advice? Stephen Miller.
Bad advice.
Tulsi Gabbard, good advice, bad advice?
Gabbard is kind of like no advice. I mean, I've seen her around.
What about Vice President J.D. Vance? Good advice, bad advice?
I don't know. It's hard for me to judge exactly what role JD's playing in advising the president.
Pete Hegseth.
Trending bad advice. And the United States is not a warmonger. We go in and try and end wars. We try not to start them. Right? And I thought that that's just an example of where he gets caught up on the war thing and him being the top warrior.
What was your reaction when you saw the president's post, multiple of them calling for the annihilation of Iranians?
I didn't get a chance to react. I got a flood of text from people that were very concerned. And
constituents?
I immediately, everything from constituents to friends to family members, just people know what's going on. Because it was pretty profound.
He said he doesn't regret it because it got the Iranians to the table.
Well, that's what I mean. But that actually proves the point that I don't think that he had any intention of destroying civilization. I think there are a variety of reasons why that would never happen of Iran. But I think if I were coaching him, I said, Mr. President, people believe literally every word that comes out of your mouth.
The president yesterday told us that he did post the Jesus AI photo, that he thought he was a doctor. He then took it down, which they don't do very often, so you could take that as a sign of apology. Most Catholics, I know you are included in that group, voted for the president in 2024. Do you worry that the president, with his post, his comments against the Pope, could erode that support of Republicans?
I worry less about the post. I think he took it down. I think that's an acknowledgement that it was probably something that should have never been posted. I'll take at face value his confusion with it being a doctor.
Do you believe him?
Like I said, I'll take it at face value. I think that you don't engage the Pope as a head of state, particularly the most powerful head of state in the world.
Do you think the president should apologize?
I'll leave it to the president to decide to apologize. I, for one, think apology is an underused art in politics. I think it's actually something that's very, very invigorating when you get used to it. When you're wrong, you're wrong. Or if you made a mistake, or maybe it was just a misconception, just get past it. move on. This president has done so many positive things that I want to focus on. We have a very tight lane to swim in between now and November. We have to be pitch perfect. We have to execute. We have to think only, in my opinion, about the priorities of the members of the U.S. Senate who are up for re-election and the priorities that will get them re-elected. Everything else is noise, and everything else is a threat to good execution.
Will you ever return to politics?
No.
Why?
Well, I've decided in the U.S. Senate there's really not much else to go, and whether it's governor or president who requires a security detail, and I never want a job that requires a security detail.
Because you're low maintenance.
And I like my privacy.
He doesn't like overhead. Julie, it is interesting, and we've all witnessed this kind of unshackled Tom Tillis, and I give him credit for admitting that there has been a change. But even despite being unshackled to a certain degree, he still stops short of direct criticism of President Trump. Blames it on his advisors, which you artfully got him to do there. Did you view that as a theme of the interview? Was there always a way for him to kind of swirl around the idea of ever saying, well, actually, Donald Trump screwed this up?
It was absolutely a theme of the interview. We sat down for 15 minutes and we talked about pretty much every topic you can think of, and you heard so much of it there in that cut of the interview. But every opportunity that he had to blame the chief executive, who is the president, who, by the way, is the head of this populist movement that Tillis was talking about, makes it so hard to be a Republican in nowadays, who is, of course, in charge of picking the people around him, right? It is the president who nominates who gives them advice, and so far, it's just Kambani that he decided to cut loose. So absolutely it was the theme of the interview. I even asked about something that Tillis continuously says is a red line when it comes to the president's nominees, and that is their stance on January 6th. Take a listen to what he told me. You've told me that your red line essentially for whoever replaces Pam Bondi is that they have never expressed support for January 6th rioters, have never expressed support for the people who were jailed. Why is that your red line?
Because I was here on January the 6th, so I think it's really rich for everybody who watched it on TV to tell me what happened on January the 6th.
President Trump calls them peaceful protesters, so how come it's not disqualifying for him?
Because President Trump got elected by a majority of the American people.
Did you vote for him?
I voted for him.
But that's your red line. How do you square that?
Because he's not actually seeking confirmation in my capacity as a U.S. Senator.
So that's
that simple.
That's simple. I don't know if it's that simple, but you know what Tillis did admit to me, Ryan, which I found a little bit surprising. He still says he has a dialogue with the president, so that's why he wasn't willing to throw him under the bus just yet.
Okay. Julie Shokin, terrific work, and you can see more of Julie's interview on our website, NBCnews.com. Julie, thanks so much. Still to come, the White House looks to use today's tax filing deadline to shift the public's focus from its fight against Iran to its fight over affordability. Our panel is next. You're watching Meet the President.
Any comments? Okay.
I have some, but I'm eating, so just give me a second.
I'm eating pork. Fried pork. No. How you doing, Prince? You had something to say? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move you to the audience. Anybody else? So I can go ahead and play the panel. All right. Well, for me, I think Tom Tillis, isn't he like considered traditional Republican or whatever? And Trump has been kicking his ass because he ain't been on the 18.
I mean, he votes with them usually. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to get it. I don't know.
So the only reason why I really paid attention to him because it had to do when it came to immigration or even Ukraine. So like the immigration thing, he broke away from his home. When it came to Ukraine, he broke away. So I don't know if Trump said "fuck you," and him being able to compromise with some of these. I think they're looking at him as the what is it? What do y'all call them? Not establishment Republicans. What do they call them?
They call them rhinos.
Yeah, rhinos.
Which is Republican in name only. I think it's rich for people to be called rhinos who've been Republicans for 60 years. People just started voting for Trump, and then they're the real Republicans. It's silly, but that's also why they lose when Donald Trump's not on the ballot. So, I mean, the dude's been Tom Tillis. I don't know how old is Tom Tillis. Tom Tillis is probably 60 something.
He look old as shit. And then he's from North Carolina.
Tom Tillis is 65. He's been a Republican probably, I don't know, almost 50 years, but he's a fucking rhino. It's hilarious. But I like the rhino discourse. I mean, that's why they lose.
Yeah.
So it's great.
And then he's North Carolina. So North Carolina is like one of those iffy states, right?
Nah, they usually vote Republican. For federal offices.
But their governor.
Yeah.
Is a back and forth thing.
Yeah, the last 3 in a row been Democrat, yeah.
So I think, like, for him, he has to bow down to, like, he has to work for his constituents. And then also, like, what you said with the rhino thing, he's old school. And I only paid attention to him because of immigration and then Ukraine. And that was my interest, right?
I don't know if he's old school. I think he voted for the Big Beautiful Bill. See, sometimes people is different than than what they actually vote on and do. You know, you always gotta stay woke.
But North Carolina is like deep red. I thought they were like.
It's a lighter red. Like Trump wins it, but he only wins it by a couple of points. There's every reason to believe that the Democrat, depending on who it is, will be the nominee. Who will win the state in 28.
Yeah, that dude, the old school dude, the old dude is supposed to win. What's his name?
No, I mean for president.
Oh,
No, but he will win for the senator for sure. That's not even that race is done. That's Roy Cooper.
Roy Cooper.
He's been governor. Yeah, he was governor 2 times, and he ran in 16 and 20, and he got more votes than Trump did. So he was on the same ballot as Trump and got more votes than Trump did. So that means there were Republicans who were crossing over and voting for. You had a bunch of Trump Tillis voters, and those people will be the people who won't vote for J.D. Vance or what's his name? Marco Rubio. R. Kelly. Oh my God.
You might as well vote for R. Kelly. Shit, they vote Jackson.
I know, what's the difference, right?
We all vote for one. Let's vote for the black man.
Fuck.
Any other comments, y'all, other than this crazy that y'all been current up here with this bullshit? Like, y'all let us at least have 1 o'clock and y'all can act crazy.
The Senate is an important independent body, and it's good to see legislators holding the line and not sort of just getting on code with President Trump. It's unfortunate that often they can only do it when they're retiring.
But don't you want everybody on code with Trump, Normal? Because somebody played a recording of you saying I love Trump. I don't know.
I never said I love Trump.
No, saying that you voted for Trump. So shouldn't you be on that I love Trump bandwagon?
Fuck no, I'm not.
Oh.
The fuck is this?
Yeah. I'm just wondering why.
I think the government often governs best when it's divided, so there are checks and balances on the various members of the government, or the different branches. You know, it was good that the Supreme Court gave Trump a brush back with they're going to with birthright, for example.
Checks and balances. What is checks and balances? Wait, I thought you were talking about partisanship.
No, we were talking about relations between the branches and the Senate pushing back on Trump's attempt to control them and keep them on code.
No, I know, but I'm saying the checks. Usually when I think of checks and balances, doesn't matter what party they are. They check each other. I didn't understand the point of check of the party part. That's all.
The Senate is an independent body, and they want to protect that.
I mean, that doesn't matter what party they are. They have their own. I know that. Calm down. I'm just saying, when you said the thing about it's good when they're divided government, you have checks and balances even when the government's not divided politically. The government currently is not divided politically. One party controls all three branches if you look at the appointments in the Supreme Court, and there's still checks and balances. I just didn't understand your point, really, Bert. I get what you're saying now. Yeah, it's really silly. I get it.
It's silly to have checks and balances?
No, it's silly to suggest that you have to have partisan difference in order to have checks and balances. Checks and balances is a. Why are you speaking over me? Go ahead, Norm.
Because you're misrepresenting my position.
I'm not. I understand what you're saying now. You said I'm happy when the government is divided so we can have checks and balances. And I did not understand that because you have checks and balances even when it's not divided politically. That's all. I got it. It's fine.
Right. But when it's one party, and especially within the case of Trump, a given political party will try to keep its colleagues of the same party in another branch on code or in line. Democrats do it too.
But that's not. But that doesn't mean there's not checks and balances.
Well, it decreases the independence of the branches.
How so?
How does voting Democratic instead of voting what you think is best in in Congress when you have when you have somebody leading your party in Congress, how does that decrease checks and balances? Because you no longer feel free to push back against the president if you're just doing what he says because of the party, whether you're Republican or Democrat.
Okay. I don't think so. I don't think the government governs best, which is your original claim. When there's partisan differences between the executive and.
Well, there's more diversity of thought. That's the whole idea.
Can I just finish my sentence like you got to finish yours? Is that okay, man? I don't think that the government governs best when you have divided government between Republican and Democrat from Article 1 and Article 2 branches. That's the only point I wanted to make. In fact, what we see is, especially in our time, massive gridlock and things don't get done at all. And they end up relinquishing governing. That's what I've seen. I have not seen, except under Biden, for a time, for the first year, I have not seen bipartisan governance. Maybe you have, and you can tell us what partisan governance has been. So I'll wait for you to tell. I'm done.
I worry that concentrating power concentrates corruption.
Okay.
And when there's pushback, I think we get a better result and more people are represented.
So do you have any examples of that in the last 25 years?
Well, when an executive, as often happens, loses the House in the midterms, you then get more discussion and more compromise, right? The executive is not free to sort of impose his will without a pushback from the other branch of government.
Do you have
obviously
legislative? Do you have any examples?
We can think back over it. I'm sure there's many examples.
I can't think of any examples of the U.S. government governing better in Biden in the second half of Biden's terms than the first half. Can you think of any?
Oh, I'd have to go look. Right now I'm just sitting drinking coffee. I'd want to go look in detail and study it a bit.
Well, it's very easy. What were the major bills that were good for the American people that we got through bipartisan legislation, bipartisan, bicameral work? Half of Biden's administration. You can have that with coffee. I'm just asking you.
And I'm just going to answer you. I'm never up for these weird ego Q&A gotchas in the review.
It's not about I'm asking because in the first 2 years you got the shut the fuck up, Norm. Because in the first 2 years you got the bipartisan infrastructure bill. You got the Science and Chips Act. Those are sort of two major. Those have been like the last major. But it's not ego. It's just a conversation. I know if you don't have the answer, you just say that. as opposed to deflecting and saying and not saying it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember any major. Stop! I'm speaking. I don't remember any major bills that Mike Johnson's House passed that the Democrats Senate passed, and that Biden's signed. And then in Trump's, and from the Republican perspective, they would say the one big beautiful bill was a good bill, which was all Republicans and no Democrats. And when the Democrats take the House, they're probably not going to pass anything Trump wants. Now, the example I thought you might have given would have been the COVID legislation, which the Democrats passed in the House because they controlled it, and the Republicans and Trump signed. But I think it's just been the exigencies of the pandemic. But in normal order, I have not seen that since George Bush, at least. I don't think the Republican Senate passed stuff when Obama, or the Republican House passed stuff under Obama. All you had to just say was you didn't know. We could have moved on. It's not ego. We're having a conversation. I'm done with conversation. All right, we're done.
You have a particular style when you lose an argument of trying to.
I asked you an example.
Why are you interrupting me?
Because you're done. We're done with the conversation.
I wasn't done.
Well, I'm done for you. I asked you for an example. I didn't lose an argument. I was arguing with you.
Well,
It's
the
not an
best
argument.
example I can come up with now, I thought about it for 1 minute, is the healthcare bill.
Which one?
Of President Obama's. Yeah, well, that's the problem. I think if it had been bipartisan, if he'd been able to do some wheeling and dealing, if the Senate had been a little bit more diverse, then he might have been compelled to get Republican buy-in. You're interrupting all the time for somebody who's so cranky when I speak.
Shut your old ass up, bitch.
Yeah, see, well, you do the same thing over and over.
Go find your teeth.
I agree that Ono was a bit. I agree too.
This is a pathetic level of disrespect.
You blocked out of the room again.
You call yourself an intellectual.
I don't call myself an intellectual. You call yourself a journalist. Go publish a fucking article. Shut the fuck up.
Call Norma Vulture.
You're supposed to be a motherfucking journalist. You haven't published it since you worked under William Randolph Hearst in 1905. I don't call myself an intellectual.
He doesn't call himself an intellectual, even when y'all be trying to.
I asked him specifically for when the when the bipartisan work. What are you doing? I asked him specifically for when the bipartisan thing happened, and it was better. So I'm asking when. He brings up Obamacare, which in no world would have been passed. Obama reached out to Republicans for ideas and input consistently. Republicans voted for things on the floor because they said they were going to use it against him. I'm not talking about straight party line bills. I'm specifically asking for bipartisan bills. That's what I was asking for. If you know